Hello, my powerful posse, and welcome back to my channel, Purple RX. I'm Renata, your friendly and resourceful PharmD, here to help you navigate this health and wellness world, all this vast information, trying to figure out what's for you. Because remember, everything is not for you, and you aren't for everything. As you saw by the title, we're talking about trends in health and wellness. And I'm not telling you what's the latest trend or what you should do, because everybody's got a list out there about that, of this is the trend, this are the best things for health and wellness of 2021. I'm not here to dive into that. I'm here to dive into how to really navigate trends. How do we go about seeing and really looking at, is this trend going to work for me? Is this something I really need to dive into? Should I ignore that? How do we start off in the trends are actually really helpful. Things that are trending in healthcare and wellness, even in the medical world, like this mRNA. That's something that's new and kind of trending, as in they're going to use it more often, or it's something that's innovative that they're looking to use in healthcare or in wellness, where we're talking about things like Ayurvedic medicine, as in ashwagandha and reishi mushrooms or sea moss, things like that. Trends can be helpful and eye-opening, bringing things like herbs and procedures, tools, new methods to the forefront that a lot of us may have not been aware of. Say they were used more so in other countries, or used more so by another culture, or in another culture in one way. They can be something that, hey, this may work for us. We have so many alternatives. This may be an alternative that is helpful to you, especially maybe your family history is from that culture. So your body may react very well to that actual substance, tool, procedure, herb, whatever it is. It also allows things to cycle back around that maybe we've forgotten about, or maybe our ancestors knew about, and along with that, it's becoming new, improved discoveries of seeing deeper into it, that this really does have something deeper. There is some more things that we found out how effective it can be for your body. Those are great ways, and trends are such a great way to see something new or renewed, or the innovativeness of something that's already maybe been out or we haven't seen in maybe our Western culture. Trends can also help us find like new, improved ways of taking care of ourselves, of doing things that we need to do for our bodies. Things such as, a lot of times in mental health, a lot of people weren't thinking about mental health back in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, or even a few years ago. Now mental health and looking at narcissists and looking at borderline personality disorder and putting all those out, and people understanding those a little bit more. Some people are even saying it and they don't understand it, which is understandable because they've heard the term and they think it looks like this, when sometimes those things aren't easy to diagnose. That was a side note. When we learn all these new things, we're like, hey, okay, this is something I know. Now everybody kind of knows what a narcissist looks like. Now everybody knows this procedure, that procedure, how to take care of themselves, and the things that they were doing are boundaries. What boundaries look like. People are now truly thinking about boundaries, when you really may have only heard that in a psych hospital, or not psych hospital, going to a therapist or a psych hospital, or actually really going to talk to like an Al-Anon or some kind of self-help group, or a group where you have to do the work, and you basically, a support group, excuse me, I got the right word, a support group, such like Al-Anon, Alateen, all of those groups, those things were already in there, but a lot of people are now, it's becoming more broad, and people are understanding and learning it because more people are talking about it, bringing it out into the open, having people to really look at it and assess what's really going on into their life. And especially in how we're coping in hard times, and to get what is needed, because not everybody can afford a therapist, or not everybody can afford a certain procedure that maybe you could do at home. Like microneedling is something new, and it's something trending in something new, and something that's trending in the dermatological world. Instead of going to get $150 a session or more microneedling, you can do a microneedle situation at home. You can do small things like that. So it is allowing us to learn how to help us do things and innovate the way we take care of ourselves by ourselves, or even if we go out and talk to somebody. So like 2020, it was hard for a lot of people because they had to change their whole way of life, change the whole way that they did things, stay in more, work out in a different way, learn how to eat better, because the way you're eating right now is you're trying to cope with what's going on and how your life has changed in so many ways. Some people thrived in it. Introverts or people that were great at being alone or some way, they thrived in it maybe a little bit more than others. But in that, trends and things like that helped a lot of people get through, and they helped a lot of people understand themselves more and find healthier ways to get what is needed. Those are the great things about trends. Trends, like I said, are such an awesome thing, allowing us to do that and allowing us to cope and know and understand and find a broader spectrum to allow people in different circumstances of what they can do. Because a lot of people didn't know those things, but therapists and other people had to get things out in other ways. Just like doctors being on camera is a newer trend within the past few years, trying to make sure people get the information they need as many ways as possible. With trends, there also comes some harm, or well, it can be harmful if it's not presented or practiced properly. If somebody tells you this is the hot new thing and it's going to help you and it's going to do this, if you don't know how to approach that, those things can be very harmful to you because you could be taking the wrong thing. Just like there's trends on TikToks and people doing something on TikTok, and I think it was one girl, she did something on TikTok and her whole face was burned because she did something that was a trend, and it was very harmful to her skin, and her skin didn't react very well. And she probably didn't, I think she said she probably didn't do it in the proper way. Those can be harmful, just seeing somebody on camera quick and saying, I want to do that, or hearing about something and saying, I want to be a part of that, and not knowing the full scope of what you're going to be into. A lot of trends have become more sustainable, but still there's some that aren't. Environmentally and economically friendly in some ways, and helpful for people, and better practices where it's not harming other people in order to get what you need. So some companies are more worried about making their money and jumping on that bandwagon and being a part of the hype and getting that money out of the hype, rather than really making sure, is this economical for people? Is this something that is truly healthy for a vast amount of people? And are we giving warnings or understandings of how to truly follow this, or what's truly needed in order to do this, or be a part of this, or take this, or whatever is going on with. Also with that, a lot of companies go in and they want to do it so quickly and so fast. They go in and they take land or abuse land. Things like trying to grow things very quickly and cutting the growth time short, where you don't get the full properties of something. Even growing back to back to back and never giving the ground, the soil, time to actually replenish itself. Maybe with hemp or with other things to replenish that soil in order to give the next product the full nutrients. Because you're just trying to get out there and get stuff done and get the money you want, because you want to be in this cycle as long as you can to get as much money as you can. That can be the harm in some trends. People making subpar products, doing things just for the money, has become a big problem. They're also, like I said, ruining resources to get the product they want, or that everyone wants, or there's such high demand for it, for just to get money, and you're paying so much money and not getting what you need out of it. Like, something could truly be effective, but maybe you've bought it from a company that is poor in manufacturing, and they don't tell you, but they're so quick at getting it, and they're so good at what they do, or they're so well known, and the way their practices aren't great. Maybe the way they're extracting the product, depending on what it is harmful. It's harmful to the environment, but they're doing what they need to do just to get that dollar. We're in a capitalistic society, so in America, for a lot of people, the dollar is important, and for a lot of other people, so say things like ashwagandha, a lot of people are getting those things, but are they extracting it properly? Is it in the proper environment for it to grow right? Are you taking foreign lands or other people's lands just to get your product and paying those people subpar? Are we doing that? And is that what that trend is about? That's not what it should be about. And that's not something, a trend that you should get on for the bandwagon. How do you find out what trend do you need to do? What trend should I even be involved with this? Do I even need this trend? Because just because it's a trend does not mean it's for you, and it does not mean you need to be on that bandwagon. It does not mean you need to get that product, try that product, or even worry about it or be a part of it. That's just like new trends in clothes that come out. Do you like everything that comes out of clothes? Just because it's hot right now does not mean you have to get it or be a part of it or be involved in it. That's not what that should be about. How do we navigate this? First, you need to assess your needs before getting caught in the hype, because it can be such a hype where one person's like, this product has changed my life, I feel healthy and so much better because of this product, blah, 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 wah. A lot of people are just sitting out there and they're not selling dreams. Maybe that product did so much for their life and they had an issue and they found out what it was, but you don't know how long of a process it took for them to get to that place, because finding out what works for you is a process and it takes time. So what does your body need? What does your mind need? What do you need? That's what you need to assess. Don't go out here getting supplements and vitamins and being like, I need this because this says I need sea moss because it says it has 102 minerals and that says that. Great. Is your body really deficient in those minerals? How can you tell? How do you know? Have you talked to somebody that you see? Is your diet poor? And if your diet's poor, just add the sea moss ain't gonna be the only thing that's gonna work. It takes a whole lifestyle turnaround in order for you to add that to it and that be a part of it. Also, Are you already taking a nutrient that gives you what you need and is feeding your body? Because having sea moss and then cacao and hemp seeds and then this other powder and another nutrient powder and this, sometimes you're buying so much into so many hypes that your body probably doesn't even need that, or may not need that, or it may, and it may not be getting sufficient from that area. Do you know what you're deficient in? Do you know what's going on with your body? Or are you just saying, well, I've been tired this week. I've been tired a lot lately. Maybe I need this. Maybe you're tired because mentally you're tired. Maybe you've been worn out, beat down mentally and in some way emotionally. And in that way, that's draining you and giving you fatigue. Because sometimes we can get fatigued or we can get tired and worn out from life. Life can do that to you. And it may not be something outside of you. Maybe you need to start by healing by removing something from your environment, whether that's a person or whether changing your attitude. There is a lot more that goes into it than saying, this is something I need because I'm tired and it's going to give me energy. It could be giving you energy, but it could be just a little false cover up, even if it is a sub. So be careful if you're going to trends. Do you really need this? And that takes talking to your provider, doing research yourself to see what it really is, doing research to know what my body needs. If your doctor is saying this may be going on with you, okay, what are my options? What are alternatives to what he did? What he or she has told me that I can take. What are my alternatives? What are other options that I have? Because a lot of times you have more options than one. It just depends on how far on the scale you are. Sometimes you're at the end of the scale where you have no option. Like me, when I found out what I had with my situation, I was on the end of the scale and I really had very few options. As you go farther along the scale, your options are going to be smaller and far and few between. Talk to your doctor, healthcare professional, however you want to put it, your provider. Talk to them. Let them ask them to help you and assess, and ask them to help you in the research and say, is this something that would work for me? Is this something that, if you don't have that kind of relationship with your healthcare provider, you're not doing partly your part, just chose any kind of doctor, and maybe that doctor isn't for you. I have a video on that. You need to check that out. How to find the doctor for you, because that takes work on your part. All of this healthcare stuff takes work on ourselves and our own part. It also takes patience. If you're going to be a part of a trend, be patient with yourself. Not always does it automatically, okay, it's gonna work. It's gonna work automatically within a day. A lot of medications don't automatically work. A few of them, yes, they do immediately start working. There's a lot, it takes time to get in your system get used to adjusting to that and dispensing and dispersing it where it needs to go, acting and reacting how it needs to act. So give yourself time. Give yourself at least a month and be wary if you want to try trends. Some things are going to work, some things may not. So take your time. Know that this is not a black and white simple game. And it's not, because everybody's body is different. Everybody's body reacts so different. Somebody could be sensitive to one thing that you are not even sensitive to and your body doesn't even react to. Again, everybody is different. So you have to be thoughtful and understanding and know how your body is, if it has a high tolerance for a lot of things, if it can handle certain things, what can it go through and how does it react to certain things, whether that be food, whether that be liquor, alcohol, drugs, no matter how that looks, know how your body reacts, know how long it takes. Those are important things, especially when you want to follow a trend or do something or try something out. And also, like I said, be patient with yourself. Give your body time to get adjusted, to know, to understand it. Your body has to go through all of that and figure things out. And remember, not every trend is for you. And that's okay. Just don't get lost in the sauce. Don't get lost in the trend. This is hot. This is the new thing. This will change your life. This is the greatest thing you've ever tried talk. That will have you so lost in the sauce. That is basically like a propaganda. That will have you so lost in the sauce, you will forget what you're looking for. I promise you, this is just something in hair. I am a recovering hair junkie. I am a recovering product junkie. Excuse me, not hair junkie, product junkie. I promise you. My under the sink was the worst place. You would go into there's 50,000 products from 50 different places. And that was along my natural hair journey. And the thing about it is, probably maybe a few years into my natural hair journey, I'd found something. It worked for me. And I just decided, let me try something new. These people are saying this is a great product. This is a great product. That's a great product. This is what you have to do. This is what you need to do. This works best for this. And you know what? I came full circle and went right back to the stuff that really worked for me. I might have added a couple of different things. Don't get me wrong. I discovered a couple of new things that were wonderful for my hair. Even gave some recommendations to my mother. But I just spent so much money and so much time trying products, and those products were okay compared to the original product I had. With that being said, you also save money when you take your time, when you really do the research of what does my body need? Where is my body? Where is this? How is this going to benefit me or help me? Is it really going to? Do I really know the true situation of what's going on with my body? Again, trends are great. It's a beautiful world to figure out what you need, figure out some new, helpful, eye-opening things for your healthcare, for your wellness. But be cautious in that. Take your time. Get to know yourself. Get to know what you need. And remember, everything is not for you and you aren't for everything. Thank you guys. You guys have a nice day.